There is a moment every human will face. A moment quietly waiting in the shadows. A moment so powerful that it splits your life in two. You live the first half asleep, following rules you never questioned, chasing dreams you never chose, trying to be someone the world approves of, not someone you believe in. You grow up thinking life is unlimited, that tomorrow is guaranteed, that time will slow down when you need it. But it won't. It never does. You spend years climbing ladders, only to realize they were leaning against the wrong wall. You laugh loudly, but not because you're happy. You stay busy, but not because you're fulfilled. You move fast, but not because you're going somewhere, but because you're running. Running from the question you're terrified to ask yourself, is this really my life? Most people never ask it, not because they're foolish, but because deep down, they already know the answer. They just don't want to feel the heartbreak that comes with the truth. So they distract themselves. With work, with noise, with entertainment, with routines so loud their soul can't speak. Until one day, life whispers a warning. Maybe it comes as loss. A goodbye you weren't ready for. A failure you can't ignore. A mirror moment where you no longer recognize yourself. Maybe you wake up one morning, look at the ceiling, and feel it in your chest. A quiet, painful knowing, I don't have forever. And that is the moment the old life quietly ends. Not with tragedy, but with awareness. Because suddenly, for the first time, you see life clearly. Not as endless days to waste, but as a countdown you can't pause. And that's when it happens. The rebirth. Not dramatic, not loud, not announced to the world, but felt in your soul like a storm settling into purpose. You stop trying to impress. You stop needing permission. You stop fearing judgment from people who aren't living your life. You start choosing differently, not out of rebellion, but out of alignment. The world calls it a crisis, but it isn't. It's clarity. You start speaking less and meaning more, needing less, feeling more, proving less, becoming more. You realize the tragedy isn't death. The tragedy is dying without ever having truly lived. You stop waiting for weekend happiness. Stop collecting approvals like trophies. Stop shrinking yourself to fit spaces that were never built to hold you. Because something finally clicks. You don't want more time. You want more life. You want mornings that feel like freedom, not obligation. You want days that matter, not days that pass. You want a life that feels owned, not borrowed. So you let go. Not because it's easy, but because staying the same finally hurts more than changing. The second life begins when you accept you are the main character, not the extra, not the supporting role, not the understudy. Your story didn't end. It was just waiting for you to start it consciously. You forgive yourself for the years you lost, because you needed them to wake up. You stop mourning who you were, and start meeting who you are becoming. And suddenly life doesn't feel heavy anymore. Not because your problems vanished, but because you became bigger than them. The fear didn't leave. You just stopped letting it drive. The doubt didn't disappear. You just stopped letting it decide. The world didn't change. You did. And that changes everything. There are two lives you will live. The first is given to you. The second is earned. The first is lived in the mind. The second is lived in the soul. The first asks, what will they think? The second asks, will this make me feel alive? And when the second life begins, you will look back at the first one and finally understand. It wasn't a risk to change. It was a risk not to. Music slowly calms, emotional resolve. So if you feel the pull, if something inside you is whispering, if the old life is starting to feel too small, don't silence it. That voice is not fear. It is the sound of your second life knocking. Final pause, tone soft but certain, answer it.